It is finally time we check the Prydwen update for the Raven tier list. They updated yesterday, someone told me on stream, but I completely forgot to check. I'm gonna be honest because my memory is that of a fish, alright? Of a fish, I forget things in 5 seconds. But let's go a little bit today over what's going on with Raven, where she has been placed on the tier list, and if we agree or disagree. As usual, a short video just to see what's going on. We are live every single day doing our gacha dailies. Feel free to drop by. Link in the description down below. Today's topic is going to be, of course, Raven. Where the fuck is Raven? Oh my god, what the fuck? B, C, C, and then for bossing, S, S, S. Now, to be fair, right? I can agree with the bossing, and I can see where she would be lower on the campaign. Now, this is might be hot take for some people, but NIKKE is 99% bossing, nothing else. This game is about bosses, because if you care about campaign and story, campaign is nothing but the combat power check, right? And then there is raids, which is bosses, both versions of raids. There is your PvP, which is a completely different game mode, and there's nothing else. Like, you either like raids or you either like PvP. There is no other end game currently on NIKKE. So it's like, if the character is not good on bosses, you really are not gonna see her anywhere. Now, Surface 1.0 might change this. We'll see. We'll see. Shift up. Release Surface 1.0. Thank you. Now, that's it. Let's go a little bit over over what's going on with Raven and why she has been placed there. I think we start first with the investment, and then we move into the pros and cons that they have put. As usual, shout out also to Prydwen. Amazing content always. So they are recommending a 10-5-7 and then long term a 10-10-10. I feel a 10-10-10 is not necessarily even long term. It's kind of a waste going plus level 4. I can see why they would recommend a level 7 on the burst, but again, I feel if you're gonna be using her on raids, which is gonna be her main purpose, a 10-4-10 is perfect. Level 5 on a skill 2, I don't know why they recommend level 5. I still feel level 4 is more than enough. Nothing changes level 5. From a 15% goes to a 16% on damage, right? And from a 34% attack goes to a 36%. It's a 2% increase for a lot of resources. Yes, now we have more resources because the Drake event, some of us still have some resources left, but for the most part, level 4 is more than enough. I don't think you need to be going level 5. There is no breakpoint that I am missing. Let me know in the comments if I miss a breakpoint somewhere. But this is not like a CDR character. This is not like Nor. Units that need a specific level on their skills. Toph on a skill 1 being level 9, right? Things like that. So level 4 feels more than enough. A 10-4-10 to me feels good. And even a 10-4-7, I could see that happening. For gear, they are recommending 4 elemental, 4 attack. She's like a really cheap character to build, in the sense of you don't need to worry about anything other than those 2. She's like a plug and play character, which is fantastic, right? Now, mine has 8, like 30, 40 rocks at this point, bro. And I got lucky with the elemental lines, but nothing else. Like, it's like 1 attack, right? 1 elemental, nothing else. 1 elemental, 1 defense, 1 ammo, 1 elemental. So it's like a 3 elemental, 1 attack, but nothing else. And it's like, damn, hopefully I can get some elemental attack lines soon. And I got my max ammo already. She doesn't need more than 1 max ammo, but if you only get 1 max ammo, I already said this, you probably want to reroll it to be at least a blue line, if you can, of course. If not, get 2 lines, just to guarantee she gets 10 bullets, okay? Just so you can max a stack on your skill 1 before you have to reload, and then just sustain that through the whole battle. So that's it. I can agree. A Resilience, Bastion, Distraction, or Adjutant. I would only use Resilience, to be honest, because at the end of the day, she's like a really slow character. And those cubes can absolutely work depending on the investment. If you are using a Crone, if you are using Mates, if you are using characters that give reload speed, you can switch the Resilience for something else. But to me, I'm lazy. I like whatever works the best without having to think too much. And in the case of NIKKE, that's Resilience for like 99% of the characters. Now, let's go into the pros and cons and see what they are saying about our new wife. Alright, hopefully you guys can see everything in here and it's not too small, but I'm gonna be zooming in, okay? So, extremely strong iron DPS for bossing. Can match rapid red hood on equal or better investments on a boss without core and pierce parts. Know that support unit quality is important as well. A lot of people were saying that her damage was not that good even after the buff, and I was like, bro, what you all tripping on? She's like one of the best DPSs in the game. Like, we're talking about on elemental content, catching up to the best DPS in the game, Rapid Red Hood. Well, yeah, is it Rapid Red Hood? Is it Cindy, who is like the highest ceiling possible right now, right? But well, catching up to one of the strongest characters in the game, which is crazy. A top 3 strongest item DPS in general as of her release, and has a very strong neutral element presence, as her damage is comparable to Mihara, new Mihara, can be higher or lower, and also dependent on support unit quality. I feel the biggest issue with Mihara is that it's like a pure single target character, while Raven can actually have some AoE thanks to her burst, even though it's not an amazing AoE damage by any means. But yeah, even on neutral content, if you get lucky with attack lines, she will perform really well. If you do not get enough attack lines, at least 3 or 4, on neutral content, you are better off using someone else, right? Elemental is useless if she is not facing those enemies, and without attack, she's gonna be doing way less. Consistent damage across bosses because damage is from dot, but she also doesn't scale on core pierce parts. To be honest, even while being a really slow character, a lot of her damage is just from her basics and her skill 1, but her skill 1, every time it's broken, you see numbers that are huge numbers every second that is broken. Auto-friendly, no need to manual her unless you need to aim for a specific spot. More than auto-friendly is that she has the animation cancel, so unless you are macroing, it's not worth using her on manual because the full charge attack here. But then again, right now they should be fixing that. We'll see what they do with the current book. So far, no word from Shift Up. Help us find a broken animation cancel book which could have been abused to gain an insane amount of damage. The thing with this damage cancellation is that it's not new, or okay, it was discovered now, but God knows how long it has been used for, right? Because a lot of people, when they find these books, they don't report them, they abuse them. And again, I'm not gonna be here blaming them, I don't give a fuck. It's a game at the end of the day, it's not that deep, but it's always interesting to see the difference between people who want to abuse these books in order to gain an unfair advantage in competitive game modes, rather than people who just want to report them for whatever reason, right? And gave us 2 cancelled solo raids, extra rewards, maybe 3, okay, we'll see what they're doing. Beats out if in terms of meta, take that Adam. If evil, why hot? Wiser words have never been spoken. Best looking character out of the collab, and I'm gonna be honest, if you are buying a skin on this collab, this is the only skin worth buying. For $20, $60 a skin for Eve is trash, in the sense of there is so many costumes and the skin suit just looks like her normal outfit. It looks the same, guys. So it's like 60 bucks for that. I'm good, bro. I bought this skin, it's the only one that I bought. Nothing else in this collab caught my attention. Midsummer Alice skin, need we say more? Like I was saying, there is a skin on the collaboration. The skin for Eve feels so fucking expensive in comparison, bro. It's like, nah. Now let's go into the cons and repeat, see what's going on. She comparatively gains less damage against bosses with core or even pierce parts. Example, shooting range has a core which favors Rappy much more than Raven. Ultra will have pierce for Red Hood rather than Raven, so on and so forth. Depending on the boss, I don't see this as a con per se, even though I also mentioned it, right? Like if there is pierce, she's gonna be performing worse. But this is good because we have more options. Now, this is good if you have all the Pokemons, right? If you have your Pokédex complete. If you don't have all the characters, it might not be something that good. But for people who have most of the characters, it's good to get more options. I don't see it as something bad. But again, that's speaking from someone who has every character in the game. And technically needs parts for maximum damage on a skill 2 uptime, but does not scale on pierce part. Agree, but at the same time, what she gets is, in my opinion, not really worth it, because the only thing she's getting when she's breaking that is damage to parts. She's fucking trash. And also, when you break a part, the sustained damage, which is gonna be replaced on burst anyway, but still a 30% is always welcome. You can offset this depending on the team composition, since there is plenty of characters that will have 100% uptime buffs, but still it is a con. A fast tapping is not possible due to forced animation unless you abuse a book, which is being fixed right now. Being fixed right now, it's a it's a lot of praise on Shift Up part, right? It's a lot of hope on how competent Shift Up is. We'll see. If they fix it, I'll be happy. Forced animation reduces the benefit of charge speed. Also, it says she has a 1 second charge time. Her actual attack rate is much slower because of the animation delay. You don't need charge speed anyway. Like we were saying, it's not really worth to go for the charge speed. It's gonna be like a waste stat. You're better off just going for max ammo instead, so you can keep shooting. Beware, she might give you an armpit fit. How is this a con? Like, it is an actual pro that she will give you a good fetish, so you guys can get some good taste finally, alright? Just saying. Now, all that said, all the jumping aside, I agree with the bossing being on like what would be a T0, right? I can see why she would be lower in other situations. To me, right now, if I still have the 0.5, it's where I would put her. She would be a 0.5 character, but I don't have it 0.5 anymore. I don't want to be having so many tiers in between, it's just useless long term. So, she is it is 0 for me. Still surprised to see her so low in the other categories. That said, do let me know if you guys agree whether she is on the tier list or not. And as usual, we are live every single day. Links in the description. After all that yapping, good luck with your pool, Nidorates, and I'll see you on the next one.